Hello, thanks for coming. I'm going to do a little bit something different today and dedicate this video to my guru, Swami Satchidananda. Let me start out with a prayer to Ganesh. Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha. Om Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Deva Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat, Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. The most ancient system of yoga involves a guru-disciple relationship. Many people think they know what a guru is, but the name guru says it all. Guru, the word, the Sanskrit word, is made up of two syllables, gu and ru. Gu refers to darkness, ignorance, and ru says to remove. The implication of the guru, then, he doesn't add things to you, he takes away. And behind that idea is the fact that you already are a realized being, an enlightened being. So every part about teaching should be designed to remove something from you to show you your true self. And there's a lot of historical precedent for that. What I'm going to talk about today is one of the most powerful ways to remove the illusion that you are weak and powerless. I'm going to talk about something called the Kechari Mudra. And I'll put some links on the description so you can go look at it. Kechari Mudra is called the king of the mudras. So kind of just to give those of you who don't know a little background, this is a mudra. You've seen this. You've seen things like this. So, and what you read, so this is a little bit different from people's understanding. I've looked at all the things that people talk about the Kechari Mudra. And what they usually demonstrate is the ability to get the tongue up into the nasal cavity. So one of the easiest way to hide things is let people think that they have got it and understand it. The Kechari Mudra is not a passive thing. It's an active thing. So, give you some idea of the importance of it is. And so all the yoga teachers out there, almost none of them know how to do even the rudimentary Kechari Mudra. This will go a little bit beyond that. So one of the things is, so let me talk about, so you can go read about all the things that the Kechari Mudra is good for. Let me talk about the things that they don't say or know. And you decide whether people should know this or not. This is the unveiling of the real power of the Kechari Mudra. One of the things that they talk about in passing is that the Kechari Mudra enables one to fly through the air. And if you practice this, you'll begin to understand why they say that. It's not really the thrust of the Kechari Mudra. The thrust of the Kechari Mudra is to awaken and control the Kundalini. Okay, give you some idea. The people spend years trying to lengthen their tongue, okay, and get it long enough so they can invert it and have it go behind into the nasal cavity, and to make it about 9 inches long. And there's two different schools that say, well, you need to, there's a frenum underneath the tongue that connects the tongue to the bottom of the mouth. Okay, and so some advocates of doing this say the fastest way is to every day take a little razor blade, and touch it to the frenum and cut it just a little bit, and then to rub salt in it. Okay, and that loosening the tongue enables the tongue to go up further. One of to give you some idea, if your tongue can come out about 4 inches, you're 5 inches too short. So let me tell you, okay, so people will take 9 or 10 years to develop this because of the benefits. So one of the benefits is, if you can elongate the tongue long enough, put it up into the nasal passages, you can actually touch the pineal gland and massage it. Okay, and one of the things that happens when you do that is that the pineal gland has one of the highest blood flows per weight through it. Okay, it's not inside the brain, it's right at the base of the brain. And if you massage it, you will get it to increase the blood flow and to clear out the pineal gland gets calcified over time, particularly here in the West where we have fluoridated water. And I actually have a link to getting rid of the fluorine in the water you drink. If you brush with Crest, there's fluoride in it. Many toothpastes have it. There's a couple of things that happen when you do this. It ages you prematurely to do this. And second, it reduces your ability to have psychic abilities. Okay, so when you massage it with your tongue, that vibration breaks up the calcifications, causes it to move out, and you'll produce a better ratio of hormones. Okay, there are some other things you can do to help that is that get chlorophyll. So I buy green from Trader Joe's, Simply Green. And that also helps to keep it clear. Other toxins as well. The second thing that you can do with the tongue is that many people do something called alternate nostril breathing. Okay, where you take your fingers, put the two fingers in the middle down, and you have the thumb and the forefinger, and you alternate the breath back and forth. Okay. The ability to alternate back and forth does a couple of things. It clears out the nadiis, particularly the Ida and pingala. The Ida and pingala are the two of the three major nadiis in the body. And the third one is called the sushuma, which is the spine. It's in the center of the spine. And you may have seen the medical symbol for medicine as being the caduceus. That actually is a representation of the two nadis in the sushuma, with the snakes around them being the Ida and pingala. Okay, so doing alternate nostril breathing with the tongue behind the nose has very powerful effects. Okay, so these are the major benefits that no one talks about. Okay, so I'm going to talk about, but I'm not going to show it particularly because it is so powerful. Okay, so I'm going to show you doing the alternate nostril breathing without either the tongue or the hand. Okay, and this particular process, it is actually the Kechari Mudra on a mental, physical level. It does all the things that the tongue did, but you can learn it very quickly and have very powerful effects in your meditation and your ability to manifest things right away. You'll know when you've done it because the energy is explosive. So teaching somebody this procedure can be misunderstood, misapplied, and have very serious results from what seems so simple. So let me tell you, okay, having said all that caveat, what you do with this variant of the Kechari Mudra is you breathe in, you hold the breath for a second, then so you're breathing in through both nostrils, you're holding the breath, and then slowly you exhale from the right. You breathe in from the right. Your attention is at the ajna chakra when you finish breathing in. You switch over to the left and you breathe out. So I just did it. You don't see anything. Let me do it again with the hands, so people that can have some ability can see what's happening. So I'm going to breathe in. Okay. So the exhalation from the right purifies the ida, the right breath. Breathing out on the left clears out the pingala. Now, so I was showing somebody this. He understood it. First of all, he couldn't do it when he didn't hold the breath. You can do it with your fingers and hold it. But when he tried to do what I just showed you, it was only like a 40% in the right nostril and the rest in the middle and on the left. So if you practice this, you can get it to a higher percentage. The later, when he did the left, he realized that it was even less than the right, and that it was blocked a little bit. So we talked a little bit about that. But before we get to that, once you clear out the right and the left so that they're equal, then you practice with the sushuma, the energy go up and down the sushuma without going in either the right or the left. And this purifies the sushuma even more. In spite of that, you still might have imperfect breaths. In other words, not 100% on the right, not 100% on the left. So there's a couple of remedial things you do. This is to purify the nadiis, and this actually can bring up feelings and images that you weren't aware of that you had. Okay. And one is, if you can't clear the nostrils by watching the breath, is actually to do alternate nostril breathing with the hands. Okay. And watch the percentage climb after you do that a number of times, like 12 times. Then you go back and you try it and breathe through the right, breathe through the left, see if you can get the percentage up higher. Meanwhile, while all this is going on, your own energy gets very much taller. Okay. If that doesn't work, okay, then you go. Remember, this is all a lot easier trying to pull your tongue and put the butter on and do all the things. You want to do a quick breathing called Kapali Bhakti, which means to skull shining. So how, just to show you a brief example, okay, you breathe in, make the belly large because you're making the diaphragm go down. And then you do a sudden expulsion like this. Okay. If that doesn't work, you go out. Okay, so one of the things is, let me do it. So I did it so you can see my shoulders going up and down, but it's not supposed to. It's supposed to remain still if you can do it, which will force your attention down to the diaphragm. So let me do it. I'm going to hold my knees with my hands to stop the so if you watch, you can see that my shoulders don't move. Here we go. It was a little bit better. It's been out of practice, but you get the idea. Then when you stop, you should do about 12 times stop. If you want to go further, you wait a little bit and do it up to 24. But what'll happen is you get this sort of this band of energy around your forehead. And you wait for a minute or two before you do this, because what'll happen is the energy surges up and fills you. Okay. Now, even after you do all these things, you may still have an imbalance. Then what you do is you take a neti pot and you fill it with water. You hold it up to the nostril. You lean. This is the side you want to get unstuck. So it was left on the left side for Yusuf. And then you put warm, salty water in, and you sniff it. You can either put it in a pot or you can put it in your palm of your hand, and you sniff it, and it sprays up and sprays the nasal cavity. And if you're plugged up, this mixes with the mucus. Some of it comes down the back of your throat, and you can spit it out. So you're going to get so that the nasal passages are cleaned out, and then you can go back to doing the alternate breathing to see if you can get uh, the prana to move in the right nostril and not in the middle, and to move in the left nostril, not in the middle. Okay, so this is just the preliminaries to get the energy to move. Then what you do, okay, so one of the things you're going to feel, okay, so then there's an exercise which I will want to show you to do so that you can make the ajna chakra filled with energy. Okay, and this is the point where you start to create a yantra. Okay, a mantra is a tool for the mind. And so in a way, the prana moving on the right and left side is a type of mantra, if you can believe it. So, but what you want to do with this is you want to bring the energy from the base of the spine up the sushuma to the third eye, to the ajna chakra. Okay, and you will have over a course of a few days, you will notice the increase in energy. That's all I want to say about that right now. But what I wanted to finish with is now that you can bring the Kundalini is rising up the spine like it's supposed to. The energy is building up. Now you have energy here at the Ajna chakra that you can create something that you want. And what you do with this is you have an image of what you want. You breathe in, you bring the attention to the energy there, and now you image what you want. When you do that, the energy that has been building up decreases as the energy goes into your image. So when you exhale, you say that's going to appear in front of me. And you do it with a mantra. Okay, you can do it with samyana. Say like to get cured of some physical disease, you do a samyana, okay, or concentration on the navel, and you do a mantra, a Saraswati mantra called Nila Saraswati Gayatri. And this will tell you how to be cured. Or you can do it for somebody to find out how they can get cured. Okay. So if you're working on a job to get a bigger pay, you just do this with the Kubera mantra. Okay. You know, if you have questions, you can send me a direct message. I welcome everything. Thank you so much for your time.